Hey everyone, coming to you live on Facebook and on Zoom for our masterclass, Nurse on Fire, how to reconnect to what fuels you. So give me a second here. Live on Facebook and on Zoom. Kind of mute myself, but no one wants to hear me double, right? Get that turned off and give me 1 second. Get this where I need it. All right, let's get kind of started, see if people can hop on and will be joining us at all tonight. So Nurse on Fire, how to reconnect to what fuels you. I'm Anne, your nurse and your well-being coach. Welcome everyone. If you're watching the replay on Facebook here, go ahead and put, where you're from and maybe what area of nursing that you're in as well, or if you're not a nurse in healthcare or even just as a caregiver, right? We're all caregivers of some sort. What kind of caregiver are you? I do have a couple links to share with you as well. There's a link for the workbook. I'll put that in the comments here. And then let me get the other one in as well. There is another link for the alarm PDF, which we'll be discussing as well. So if you guys want those, you can open that up and then have that kind of up and while you're going through everything here. Any problems with the links, let me know. We'll try to figure that out as we go as well. So this will be about an hour content, a Q&A session at the end. So write down all your questions that maybe come up as well. And we're going to be discussing today what motivates and fuels you in your life, moving into a new and maybe rewarding comfort zone, maybe get out of your other one, right? We're going to get to the root cause of your stress and implementing strategies to take care of yourself. That's where that alarm system comes in. So no sales on the class tonight, but by the end, some of you might want to jump on a call with me to gain some clarity and maybe get support in this a little further. If any time you guys would like to share those that hop on Zoom, go ahead and put an S in the chat here. We can do that. If you're on Facebook, definitely share there as well, and we'll kind of include you that way moving forward. So obviously to kind of get the best of tonight, we want you to close all your web browsers. We want to take some notes. We want to use the comments and chat section, and we want to have fun and kind of connect, right? This is a group for nurses and caregivers, and we want to be able to connect with each other and to support each other and kind of what's going on. So it's all awesome that you guys are here tonight. You're taking action, you're making some changes. And sometimes when that comes along, you maybe, can get triggered just a little bit with things. So I want to make sure it's okay if we maybe hit some sensitive areas or some emotions and some fears and some past things come up, if that's okay with you guys. So let me know. Yep, okay. All right, looks good. So we'll kind of get started here. I want to share parts of my journey with you. Hopefully this will be helpful for all of you if you've heard parts of it. Some of it's good to repeat so you can kind of know where I have come from in my experiences and then how I can help you moving forward. So I've had my own health issues related to acute chronic stress. Now recognizing that, oh, hey, that was actually burnout. You were at burnout. Literally did not recognize that till about a month ago. I was in denial. You can see in the pictures here, these are work badge pictures because I don't ever take pictures and haven't been able to find anything that I packed away during the mold issue. So 2009, 2016 as before work picture. I thought it was an after work picture and then realized it was before work where I was like, just take the picture, I gotta get going. And then 2022, actually looking like I'm enjoying things, and yes, the wisdom highlights are real from that. So it all kind of started with an episode where I wasn't able to lift my arm above my head. I'm like, what is going on? What is this about? Having issues with that, having stress from dealing with the snow, having real anxiety with that part of my lovely work where I live 25 miles from where I work, so in the middle of the snow belt. About a year later, we had that Christmas where we had snowmageddon happen, right? We had that 6 feet of snow on Christmas Day. Couldn't see out the window, snowing, snowing, snowing. We were getting emissions. I was feeling stressed. I was hangry. Said something to a fellow coworker, kind of got myself in trouble with that. Previous to that, a couple months later, I had an incident with another coworker. So stress on stress on stress. You can feel it all adding up, right? But I ended up spending the night at the hospital, stressful yet again for me. Always prepared, had an overnight bag. I was ready, was physically shaking. I was so stressed out by all that. But hey, I wasn't late for work the next day, which was great. I came home to 4 inches of snow though. Think about that. I'm like, really, really got hammered. So ended up starting with all that stress and all that worry, drinking more and more water. And what is this about? Why am I getting so dizzy? Why am I just feeling like ugh all the time, right? And then the fatigue, the dizziness, the brain fog came. And then I had an episode that kind of changed everything. A day where I was like, you know what? I'm going to pass out. I don't know what's going on. I had a stressful day at work, a stressful day, kind of driving in the weather again. Some things going on with furniture being delivered, and it was just I have to go home and I do this and I have to get up and I say, that kind of feeling. So almost passed out at work. The only time throughout my whole health journey where I left early was that first day of work. Barely could pass my meds some days, get out of the chair, I was feeling exhausted, got short of breath going up one flight of stairs, and I had to be like, oh, what is going on, right? Wasn't sleeping well. And then I get up and do it all over again. Motivated to keep helping others, motivated to not let my team down, kept going to work, muscle through. I'm a nurse. I got this. So you see tons of specialty doctors, saw my primary doctor literally every month, did my own research, tons of tests, knew something was wrong. I was going to find the answers, right? Knowing I was worth all the time, the money, energy that I was investing in myself. So God ended up putting the right people in my path, opened up kind of the avenues and realizing what I probably really did have, did obviously the research, did the tests, diagnosed with neurocardiogenic syncope. Ugh, spit that out, right? NCS. It is a form of dysautonomia. October is Dysautonomia Awareness Month, so you guys watch all my posts. Going to educate you about that this month as well. But the dizziness was caused by that. Why I was drinking so much fluid. I was super dry eye, can't get contacts in my eyeballs anymore, diagnosed with Sjogren's as well. So through all of that, I realized I need to take control over all this. I got to figure out how to deal with these new diagnoses. So I hired my first coach. She was a nutrition coach. I started seeing a therapist to deal with my anxiety, did every free workshop and that I could get my hands on stress and anxiety. And yeah, I was like, you know what, I still need a little bit more guidance with this. So there's where I found health coaching. So 15-minute call changed my life there. I made a powerful decision that day, started my journey in coaching. Obviously didn't make all the changes at once, but that was kind of that first step moving forward. With all that, had some gut issues, and my nutrition coach is like, I think you have SIBO. You need to go see a functional doctor. Yep, more testing, more doctors. Diagnosed with SIBO, diagnosed with mold toxicity, dealt with all the mold issues, dealt with it all in my body and in my house. I'm worth all the time, energy, and money. My house is worth all the time, energy, and money. And then recently, been working with mindset coach, working with the business coach to kind of get everything in alignment, find my groove. Huge personal growth. I'm learning so much. I'm releasing tons of emotional and physical things that had really kept me stuck for years, really. Silencing that inner mean girl, trying to listen to the cheerleader, working on that. Some days is better than others, but all of what I've learned, I've put into daily practice in my life. And that's where my coaching business has come out of. My coaching programs are all from me learning this stuff and then bringing it to you guys so I can support my fellow nurses, stepping into this new role in my life and kind of recognizing that there's familiar patterns that I've been stuck in this comfort zone and they're no longer serving me. So actually more comfortable where I am right now than where I was, and it's good to keep making that progress forward. Taking control of my life and my well-being, working on what fuels me, keeping the focus on the positives, having my words, thoughts, and actions, everything is in alignment, and kind of figuring out what my groove is, and liking where I'm going, getting unstuck, if you will, out of the rut, finding the root cause of all my stress, and then implementing all these strategies that I've been learning to kind of keep things going and take care of myself. And that's kind of what we're going to do for you here today is I'm going to share my experience and what I've learned about reconnecting to what fuels us, and kind of how you guys can do that for yourself, right? So we're going to look at how long have you been a nurse, right? So think about, your nursing career. How long have you been a nurse? And I've been a nurse 16 and a half years, been in healthcare 17. I don't know if you guys saw this from Nurse Blake, but let's see how old you are in nursing years, right? So number of years in nursing times 3 plus your age equals your age in nursing. So I am 92. If you guys want to put in the comments how old you are, we did this a little while back. Brand new way of thinking about a senior nurse, right? Baby nurse and senior nurse is definitely one way to think about it. But think about that. Like, it feels like some days I'm 92. Like, I didn't realize, I think until a while ago, how taxing it is to do 12-hour shifts, to do 3 in a row, right? 3 12s in a row is hard physically, mentally on your body. So you add that extra 3 years with your nursing age, it really does start to add up. And that stress on your body is just, it can be debilitating, and it can lead to these crazy health issues. Some of them can be really major, right? So we got to learn to appreciate ourselves and our job, and then take responsibility and action for our thoughts and our words and our actions as well. So yeah, everyone let me know what's your age. Make sure you put that in there. So the alarm system to deal with our stress. So anyone that attended the burnout class last month, we learned an alarm system. I have upgraded this system. So this is brand new that I'm sharing with all of you tonight. So the first part is assessment. So what are you experiencing? Is it stress? Is it burnout? Is it more than that? Is it a little bit of moral injury in there as well? So when you think about burnout, it comes from the fire not being controlled, right? Everything is on fire, like all of you is on fire, and not like the core center of you. So you're feeling that overwhelm. Everything's popping up that shouldn't be there. And that's what's great about coaching. We help you extinguish those unwanted fires that are not actually fueling you. They're just burning out of control, right? And we reignite the one in the middle that fuels you and motivates you and keeps you going, right? That one in the center. A lot of us have been dealing with these stressors and pressures, feeling the burnout. Suicide rates are up with nurses. We're feeling neglected, maybe betrayed. Everyone kind of gave up on us, right? It's changed us. It's broken us. We feel like we're unmotivated. We're just kind of going through the motions, numbed by all of it. That autopilot, you guys feeling that as well? PTSD, the pandemic definitely brought that on. The fact that they call us superheroes, like, oh, who else cringes when that just don't, right? But maybe in the height of all that, we did feel appreciated. We were exposed to stuff daily, death daily, all the PPE, all the physical and mental toll on us. And now, we feel like zeros, right? Like, I really feel like they shoved us off of that pedestal. We're laying broken and shattered on the ground, right? We have lack of everything, lack of motivation, cynical thinking. We have lack of actual physical stuff and staffing, and we're just kind of going through the motions. It's kind of just like the norm right now. Maybe it feels a little easier to stay stuck than to admit that, this isn't really fun right now, right? So the second part of that, so assessment, and then we're going to go into language, kind of falls into that. Like, what are you saying about nursing? Like, yeah, this isn't fun. Oh, everyone's burnt out. Oh, this is awful. Like, like all the negative kind of stuff that comes out. How are you talking to yourself about it too, right? Like, we got to start being cognitive of what we're saying and how we're saying it, right? When we're pushing down all that emotion and all that stress, it's got to come out somehow. We need to learn to process it and do it in that moment as well, like through deep self-care, stepping away from it all, refocusing on ourselves, knowing what motivates us and drives us. But in your language, recognize what you're using and then switch the words, right? I am tired, I am burnout to I feel. Because when you feel it, you can then release it and let it go versus owning it and taking all that in. It's a positive language, right? Inner cheerleader. The next A is action. So what practices do you want to do? These are those deep self-care practices. What are you doing, right? Who do you want to do it with? A partner? Do you need an accountability partner? Do you want to just be by yourself? And is it actually working? And even think about the action that you want to take regards to nursing. Do you need to have a change in profession? Do you need to change a specialty? Do you need to figure out how to reconnect to what motivates you? So what is that action you're going to take moving forward? The R is the release part of that. So where you feeling stuck, right? What are we gonna let go of that? I think of release as like birds. So that's why I'm kind of flopping my arms around, but like, we get to release you into the sky again. So release it, just let it go. If it's no longer serving you, why keep it around? Just let it go. Physical things, thoughts, some relationships, those habits, just let it go. And then that's when you can actually step into who you are and into your own personal power. Momentum. This is the fun one where we get to do all these action steps, right? One step at a time. That 1% progress moves us forward. What is that one thing you can focus on, right? What is that one thing today that I can do that's going to make everything easier and unnecessary? Start with that and then just keep moving forward. And is someone keeping you accountable for all this stuff? You know, you want to be able to make these decisions every day. Sometimes you get stuck in those old habits again. So you maybe need someone to kind of like push it just a little, keep that momentum going, right? And when you are feeling comfortable, it's hard to kind of get a new habit to stick. You're like, it's so much easier to do it the other way. Guess what? It's just as easy to do it as it is to not do it as well. But a good tip to get your habits to stick is to actually piggyback a new habit into an old habit that you have that's a good habit or a routine that you have. So a morning routine that you want to maybe do yoga and some meditation. Great time to just stick it in there with everything else that you're doing for your morning. So I'm going to put in the comments here as well. For a clarity call, I'm starting a brand new program, tons more information that's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks about this, but an alarm system where we can actually go through this step by step through a 6-week program. So if anyone would like some clarity on kind of how to use this system, what it would look like working with me moving forward, that clarity call is great for that, just to kind of see where you are and where you want to go. So I have to always do my disclaimer. If at all you feel like you need professional help, you are feeling in that depression, suicidal mode, please, please, please reach out. Not necessarily to me, but to anybody. I am here to listen, to support you, to guide you. Professional help is out there as well. Reach out, right? Talk to somebody about it. There's always support that's out there. So we are feeling all these exterior pressures. The circumstances about healthcare have changed, right? Yes, we're supposed to be fluid in healthcare. We're supposed to kind of have that flexibility, if you will, but it changes so much and there's so much added stress right now. I hear almost every day, like, this is not the nurse I want to be. I don't know if I want to be a nurse anymore. Sometimes we're barely able to assess your patients, right? You feel like you're throwing meds at them and on to the next. Equivalent to feeling like an animal trainer, like, okay, answer the orientation questions and I've got your treat here for you, right? Here's your treat. Let me give you your pills. So what can we control? We can only control ourselves. We can only control our perception and our thoughts on all of this, right? So we got to heal ourselves. We got to reconnect to our purpose and our passion. So stop and think for a minute. What motivated you to become a nurse? Go ahead and put it in the comments there too. What motivated you to become a nurse? Do you know? Do you remember? mine was kind of like, oh, I didn't do well on the MCATs. I couldn't get into a medical school, and this was kind of backup. I'll be honest, it's kind of plan C for me. So what keeps me going back every day? It is the great team that I work with, and it is the connection that I get to have with my patients and of course with my coworkers as well. So that's kind of my best part too for nursing. What's the best part of nursing for you? Your favorite part? You can finish the sentence. I love being a nurse because I get to, for me, connect, right? So that's a huge, huge driver for me. Or if you're like, I don't even know what the drivers are, we're going to look at that. So there are 6 main drivers that you can have all 6 of these. You can have all of them at once. You can have them all separate, and they can all kind of piggyback off of each other as well. So as you go through these, kind of like recognize maybe what maybe is one for you, or the top 2 or 3 for you as well. So let me get to my right spot here. So our drivers. So the first one is purpose, right? Do you know your purpose in life? Are you doing God's will for your life? So are you contributing to the greater good? Are you connecting to your why? Do you know what that is? And is that a big driver for you to keep doing what you're doing in your life? Some people like the challenge. People actually like to leave their comfort zone. I'm not really one of those. Maybe leaning into that a little bit more, but like the variety of things and like to leave that comfort zone, like to be challenged and see what they can do and how they can grow kind of that way too. And that's where self-development kind of piggybacks on that as well, right? Your personal growth. I'm big on self-development. I want to keep learning and I want to keep growing and seeing where I can go in my life that way. Relationships. This is that connection for me, that building that connection, having that sense of love and belonging and acceptance with those around you. Power and status, these are both not coming from an egotistical side, but feeling like, okay, I can be a leader. I can step into that space and I can be an authority and a leader, and I can, guide people around me. Status is kind of the same way too, like, okay, people know me as almost an authority and as someone that knows this stuff. So they come to me and I can be of significance and I can have that recognition for what I know. So if you happen to kind of think about what your top drivers are, go ahead and put the numbers of those in the comments. Mine is definitely purpose, relationships, and self-development. Biggest one, connections, right? So I did some math a little while back. Everyone loves math and nursing, yay, right? But looking back over the years, between med-surg and IU intermediate unit patients, we would average, 4 to 5 on good days, 6 kind of not so good days, and now we're up to 7 or 8. We're currently at 7 for all shifts on the med-surg unit that I work on. So average throughout my career, I would say 5. We're going to say 5 patients a day. So number of patients a day times the number of shifts a week. So 3 12-hour shifts for me ended up being 780. I just realized I put 56 weeks instead of 52. Yeah, I was close. Ended up being 780 patients a year for me. 17 years of nursing, healthcare. It's just over 13,000 patients average, right? So thinking about how many lives you've actually impacted in your career so far, that's a lot. I didn't even click how many patients that is, right? And you think of patients plus their families, and it's a lot of people that sometimes you're taking on the burdens of that, right? It's a lot of people's lives that potentially are in your hands, right? As nurses trying to do our best and to heal them, but that's a lot of stress and pressure on us. And there's a lot of times that we kind of neglect the numero uno, right? We've been so busy saving everyone else, we haven't been saving ourselves. And that's kind of the space we need to start stepping into, is to recognize that at some point we need to start saving ourselves, thinking about what gives us energy, what drains our energy, what is reigniting us and getting us that drive, and do more of that stuff, right? We want to do more of the stuff that ignites us and gives us that purpose and gives us that meaning, because that's what's going to give us the energy moving forward, not all that stuff that's draining us, right? Not coming from the negative and feeling the blah and the constant pressures from everyone else. We got to learn to deal with it and to process it and let it go, so we can come from that opposite, right? The positive, and being able to take care of ourselves so then we can take care of everyone around us. Sometimes we might feel like we're not getting nourished in nursing. There's a lot of side hustles going on right now. I guess myself included. I gotta include myself in that. But why do we have side hustles as nurses? Is nursing not fulfilling that satisfying us, that need of fulfilling our purpose, right? Maybe our side hustle needs to be to take care of ourselves in that as well. If this isn't the nurse you want to be, this isn't kind of maybe where you want, what do you want, right? What do you want your nursing career to look like? What do you want to be able to do for your patients? Can you see yourself in nursing for the next year? I don't know, right? Can you see yourself in nursing for the next 5 years? About the next 10 years? Yeah. Are you going to be at the same job in the same specialty? Maybe you're advancing your career. What does that look like? Or your degree? What does that look like for you? I always say the grass is greener where you water it. Sometimes you need different grass, and it's okay to switch things up, but to recognize that you have to actually take care of you and take care of what you want and actually water your grass, right? You can't just stand back and be like, look at them over there, that luscious grass, while you're over here watching yours dry up, right? You gotta actually water, you gotta take care of it. You gotta take care of you, right? So sometimes we gotta step outside of our comfort zone. I call it my familiar zone too, right? So this is where I'm familiar. It doesn't necessarily mean that's where I'm comfortable. Think about that one. Maybe you really would be comfortable someplace else, but some of those fears come in and you're like, I can't not be where I am right now. I can't step out of this space right now. So that's where we come into the next part about kind of feeling like we're going through the motions of everything. We're not having that fulfillment. It feels like a struggle. We're not in alignment maybe with what we want to do, and everything is just kind of out of whack, right? When you're saying I'm tired, when you're saying you're burnt out, when you're not enjoying yourself, right? So we got to reconnect with your meaning and with your purpose. So we do this from trying or through getting into alignment. So alignment is your thoughts, your words, and your actions. Everything has to be kind of on the same page for it to feel like you're in alignment or kind of in that groove. So what are your thoughts about nursing? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are you complaining all the time? And what are your words you speak? Is that you complaining? Are you like, oh, I love nursing, but you're like, oh my gosh, this is awful. So your words and your thoughts are not, those are definitely not in alignment. Or it is like, oh, this is annoying, and this is, right? And then what are your actions? I gotta put a smile on my face and muscle through it. Well, you gotta have all the positive to get to the positive, or you feel like you're just kind of, almost lying to yourself with all that, right? So there are some signs of feeling like you're out of alignment. I mentioned like this feeling like something's off, right? What is your intuition telling you? Your nursing intuition. You're out of alignment, not in the flow. You're just kind of going with it. Kind of feel like something it feels icky, right? Just, ooh, I don't know, something feels off. You get that kind of regularly message, time to make some changes, right? Maybe dig deep and kind of figure out what you want to do next. You don't feel excited about an accomplishment. So you just achieved a big milestone. You got that promotion at work, you got your certification, you got your advanced degree. No biggie, right? You're just not feeling it. So your true purpose is probably not in alignment with what's going on right now. Sometimes we feel that little bit of dread with things versus, yay, we're excited about it all. So stop chasing things that aren't in alignment with what you want. And it can be really scary to reevaluate kind of where you're going in your life and to really change it up. But think about where you are in your career. Do you want to spend however many years left in this career? It's okay to change it up. It's okay to not want to be a nurse. And it's okay to still want to be a nurse, right? You just got to work through to make sure everything is kind of where you want it to be. The third thing is you're always looking for external approval, right? It's really hard to not care what everyone else thinks about you. It's a hard space to live in as well, right? That's a lot of pressure we put on ourselves. Got to keep up with the Joneses, right? That saying that's out there, that's their success, and I got to meet that. And I got to compare and despair. Social media makes it so much easier to compare with everyone else out there. Oh, I wish I had that, or oh, I don't want to do that because they're gonna, all those things we say to ourselves. So you got to tune into your own desires and be less aware of what everyone else is doing and comparing to yourself, right? You got to give your own pats on the back and be your own cheerleader with everything. The fourth one, you feel guilty. Anybody else with that? Right? So you often feel guilty when we're, doing things that are out of alignment with our values. Your actions are going kind of against what you believe. And it's hard with self-care. It's a big one that people feel guilty about. It's not necessarily going against what you believe, it's going against what society says we should believe. So everything around us says, no, you got to put everyone else first. No, you're in healthcare, you're a first responder. You have to sacrifice everything to take care of all those people that need you. So society tells us, oh, you are being really selfish and guilty when you do something for you. It's kind of against your alignment. So that's where you got to change up your thoughts. You know what? It is not selfish. It's actually better for you when I take care of me. So kind of your thoughts and your words, and then you verbalize that, and then you have actions that fall into place with that. So sometimes there's some conflicts kind of with everything that goes on, but think about the things in your life and maybe where there is a little bit of disconnect and you're not feeling in alignment, not feeling in a groove. Everything's kind of wonky right now, right? So once you bring awareness to those areas, then we can start making some changes, right? So no self-care practices by themselves are going to fix this, right? You can't just slap the Band-Aid on it or take the quick pill, the easy button for it. We got to get to the root cause. We got to dig deep and figure out what's going on in there. Because if we're stuck in a rut and we're just kind of blindly going through the motions of life, right? We need to kind of figure out where we need to change things up. And I know nursing, we're supposed to be flexible and make changes, nothing static in life. It is kind of a skill that we are that flexible in nursing, but we also need to kind of bring that into everyday life as well. We don't want to be kind of stuck in that routine. And then the nursing culture too, like they tell us, yeah, you don't need to take a break. That's not what we do. We're going to come interrupt you no matter what, even though it's this one silly thing that I could have taken care of. Try really hard not to interrupt people at lunch. There are times when we have to, but sometimes you're like, you guys know that. Really, did they do that? Yeah. But that's our nursing culture right now. We've got to start being the ones that kind of make those changes moving forward, right? Another great thing about nursing though, and the culture is you really can do anything and you can go anywhere. You can make changes within the nursing field if where you're at is kind of keeping you feeling like you're stuck and that drained. Are you feeling sucked to dry after all your shifts? You just gave everything you can and there's literally nothing left. Okay to admit that, right? This is our next part where we're gonna take back our straws. So I've mentioned this in the past. It is one of my favorite memes. I guess it was a meme that I found. But you can't keep getting mad at people for sucking the life out of you if you keep giving them the straw. I always think of like I've got straws everywhere and people are just like, yep. It tastes good, Anne. Purple. I guess I'd be grape flavored, right? Everything I own is purple. But we can't be mad at everybody if we're still letting them take the straws, right? If they're the ones that are fanning those little flames that aren't the right flames and causing us to burn out quicker, right? So we are the only ones that can kind of take control of that. So if we can get all those straws back, okay, and then hand them to the people that we choose to hand them to, then we can start fanning the right flame, right? Fanning that flame that's gonna tap back into our nursing mojo and reignite everything that we want to do for our purpose moving forward that way. So nursing, it feels sometimes like that crazy game of Survivor, right? We got to outwit, we got to outplay, we got to outsmart everybody. But guess what? Everybody's playing the game, right? Nurses are playing the game, patients are playing the game. Everything in healthcare is just trying to survive right now. So it's hard sometimes to realize that and to be like, okay, if we're all playing this game, I don't want to get voted off the island either. But that's where maybe that would be a good thing to get voted off the island. Maybe that's the change you need to kind of get things going in the direction that you want to go. So realizing that we can take responsibility for things, as I said, take those straws back, then we can help others as well through all of that. We can take control over our emotions, reclaim what we want, and take responsibility for everything. It's hard, we react out of habit sometimes, right? Get triggered by things. But start making those decisions that are in alignment with what you want and what you need in your life moving forward that way. I do want to share one of my clients, PB. She has spent years looking for that next something, right? That was going to help her deal with all these challenges and feelings like she was a failure and she wasn't succeeding. So PB is a seasoned nurse, been in healthcare for, I believe, don't quote me on this, but like 35, 40 years. A lot of home care, nursing in there. But she was beating herself up about all these perceived failures, but ended up working with me. She says there's a nice sense of humor, sharing my experience and my knowledge to help guide the process. Now she has a sense of freedom, peace, and joy. It's exactly what we all want, right? And she has the tools to continue to grow and face her challenges successfully. And that was just after 6 weeks of working with me. So we want to take those straws back, right? We want to empower ourselves. We have options. We can speak up for what we want. If we don't, then what, right? A quote that I found, where will you live if you no longer have this body? And that really resonated with me with my health issues. If I wouldn't have pushed and pushed, most people that get a dysautonomia diagnosis, it takes 4 to 6 years. I got it in less than a year. My Sjogren's, my autoimmune disorder, same thing. It's usually a good 4+ years before you figure that out. It was like 15 months. Take responsibility for you, right? Figure out what's best for you, whatever that looks like, right? If I wouldn't have made these changes, if I wouldn't have pushed and figured out what was going on, I wouldn't have went through this 2+ year journey of healing myself, where would I be? What would it have cost me? I honestly don't know. I think I potentially would just be laying on a couch someplace, but feeling like I couldn't do anything. That wasn't an option for me. And I don't want that to be where you guys are too, where you're like, I'm done, just done. It's okay to be just done, but don't be done and don't do anything. Be done and figure out what comes next. So exciting thing for me is I am going casual in about 10 days. So casual means I can focus full-time on coaching and helping as many nurses as I can. It is less pay, it is less hours, but I'm worth more than just an hourly wage, right? I'm taking control over my health, over my well-being. I'm worth it all. I'm priceless, essentially, right? If I'm drained and unhappy, what's the point, right? If I have nothing to fuel my life and my work, what's the point of keep doing it, right? Our joy has to come from within. So we got to tap into that. My journey so far has been from unrecognized burnout. It's the best I've felt in my 5-year journey. But I want to be able to share my knowledge. I want to get you to this point of loving your life as well, but so much sooner, so you don't have to do it in 5 years. It's been a journey. I went through it all, so you don't have to, right? So what is it going to cost you to keep feeling this strained, feeling this frustration, the stress, the anxiety, the burnout, right? How much are you going to spend on yourself to kind of get things moving forward? How much are you spending on yourself now? How much are you spending on everyone else though, right? Is everyone else in your everyone else in your life taken care of but yourself? Questions to think about. We're broken, no one cares for me, right? We have to realize that we are going to have to start taking care of ourselves, right? They put us on a high pedestal as superheroes. No one's coming in to save the superheroes, right? No one's coming in to save us. It has to start with us. It has to start one person at a time, and then watch that ripple effect, right? To kind of keep things moving forward. So I share my journey with all of you, just so you can see the process that I've had to go through. And hopefully I hope it doesn't sound familiar, but if it sounds familiar, hopefully you can see that you are able to work yourself through this as well. Get that right support, get that accountability, and get a system that's going to help you get to the life that you want to have, right? You are worth all this. I am worth all of this. And that is my mission, to help my fellow nurses to heal themselves so they can actually continue to heal others. I don't want us to become the patients, right? Who's going to take care of us if we're all in the beds as the patient, right? So this is my vision, to help 50 nurses a year. We want to start that ripple effect, right? Think about how many lives we can touch. If we help each other and help one nurse, and then we get to that good place mentally and physically, like thousands of lives, right? One nurse can make an impact on 780 people's lives a year. Like there's millions of nurses out there. If we can start this nursing culture change, thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands, millions. I guess it would be millions, right? There's millions of nurses, and you can do this, you can do math. Millions of lives will be changed from us nurses, coming from a place where we are taken care of as well, not with what's going on right now. So, you know, as I said, sharing my journey, I've invested in all this, you know, so we can invest in each other, right? So you can stay healthy, you can nourish your wellness, energize your life, enjoy your life. It will take action to get you there. It will take time. It will take money. It's going to be all worth it, right? I am worth all that I have invested. You are worth everything that you can invest as well. You've already invested some time and energy by joining me today, right? Congratulations, pat yourself on the back. First step on your journey. So if you're ready to reconnect and ignite with what brings you energy, with that meaning, with that purpose, what is it, whatever that is it nursing still? Yes, we want it to still be nursing. Is it nursing in a different way? You need some clarity to determine that, right? I want us all to live the lives we want and are meant to live. If it's nursing, yeah, we want to learn how to do that better and not head toward the burnout, right? All those stresses building up. We don't want that. If it's not nursing, then what is it? Is it not nursing just the way it is? Or you need to change a specialty? Do you need to change up your grass, right? And then water that grass. So that's where that 15-minute call could change your direction. I'll put that link into the comments again if you're watching this, so it's time stamped as well for the clarity call. So if you don't take care of your body and yourself, like no one's gonna do it for you, right? No one's gonna come in and take care of the nurses. We got to be our own nurse, right? We got to take care of ourselves. We got to support each other in doing that, so we can do the best we can for our patients and our families too. I keep mentioning just, you know, the hospital atmosphere, but you guys are moms and dads at home too, right? You're caregivers to everyone else around you at home as well. So we really got to figure out how to move forward with this so we're not getting to the burnouts. That's the new pandemic, right? I really do feel that way. Like burnout is the new pandemic. And it's, I think, just as scary as COVID has been, to be honest. It can take just as many lives, just in a completely different way. We obviously went from hero to zero, that hard fall off of that pedestal that unfortunately they put us on. We just kind of is what it was, right? But I do feel like Humpty Dumpty, right? We're cracked, we're shattered. No one can put them back together again. See us all out there with our medical tape. I'll put you back to bed together there, Humpty. But we got to start putting ourselves back together, right? Healing ourselves, healing our profession. What's preventing us from doing that right now? Right? What is preventing us? I don't see anything, right? We just got to take that first step. If this isn't what you want in your life right now, what's going on? Let's chat, right? Let's just get some clarity on that. So thinking about what's motivating me in my life in nursing. Is this what I want? This is where I want to be. Is this where I want to continue to be, I guess, is in there as well. Not sure if you're at burnout. Is it just stress? If it is stress and it's a lot of stress, it's headed quickly to burnout. Let's catch it. We got to catch it before everything burns up in a pile of ashes. Are you not sure what actions you want to take next to kind of get to your goals? Maybe you want some more information on the alarm system and how we can start implementing that and getting into that alignment and groove in your life. But you can't quite figure out how to figure this out and get that into your current lifestyle. Created this clarity call for you guys just so we can get clarity. Links in there to chat. Go ahead and hop on, schedule that. I provide this for you guys because I see you struggling. I see you bringing home all that stress from work, all those burdens, the pressures, they're weighing us down. We're cracked and broken like Humpty, right? Feeling that overwhelm, feeling the exhaustion, we're drained. This isn't the kind of nurse I want to be. I'm stuck in this crazy survival mode. I don't have energy. I don't necessarily feel like I'm having meaning in what I'm doing. I'm just here, going through the motions, right? Kind of numb to it all. You can relate to that. That's what this call is for, right? If you want to create that sense of clarity about your life that you really want to have and identify an action that will move you towards managing some of these work-life stressors and those pressures of the roles from nursing and from every day. And obviously, we want to prevent burnout. If you're already feeling like you're there, we want to recover from burnout. We want to start that process as well. So if you want to take advantage of the call, as I said, link is in the chat. And you'll end that call with just a clear direction and a next step in your journey. So if there is any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. I will respond to all of that. If you're watching this on replay, go ahead and put hashtag replay and then leave me your key takeaway. Like, what is the key takeaway from tonight's presentation on being a nurse on fire and reconnecting to what fuels you? Love to know what that is moving forward. Also, I'm going to put a link in the chat to, I would love to know what's good, what's bad, what you're loving, what you're learning from these classes that I am presenting. I want to be able to support you and guide you guys the best way that I can. So feedback is always a great way to know where my gaps are and what I need to fix. So I would love to get some feedback from that. If you do fill out the form, there is a gift that comes with that, some self-care practices for nurses. So fill that out. I will then send you the gift with that. So always ways for us to connect. You're obviously watching in the group, so you're already here in the group, but feel free to invite any nurses, healthcare providers, caregivers that could benefit from joining our space. We want to support as many people as we can in these challenging times that we're kind of going through. Always connect via email, Facebook pages, Instagram, YouTube, and I am now on LinkedIn. If there's any LinkedIn people out there, still learning that. Shouldn't be that challenging for me, but I've only been on Facebook for 2 years, so learning curve, we're getting there. So that is all I have for you guys tonight. Thanks for joining me for this upcoming Announcements, I guess. I do have an end of October, we're going to be having a mini class. So realizing that some of these are kind of long for people to sit through, and I'm going to do shorter classes moving forward. So be looking for the invite and that topic to come out here in the group. And then I will answer any questions if anyone has any. Make sure you, as I said, put them in the chat. I'm Anne, your nurse and your well-being coach. I'm here supporting overwhelmed nurses to transform their burnout so they can stay healthy. You can nourish your wellness and you can actually enjoy life. So I will talk to all of you soon.